I'll call to order the regular board meeting of the Batavia Public Library for Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. Marianne, would you call the roll?
Yes. Kulana? Here. Deachman?
Here.
Ford? Here. Hubbard? Here. Larson? Here. Russo?
Here.
Rosano? Here.
Thank you, Marianne. And Jenny, would you lead us in the pledge?
Sure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 4 on our agenda is comments from the audience. Would anyone here or online like to speak to the board? Okay, with no one wanting to speak to the board, we'll move on to number 5. Would someone like to make a motion to approve or amend the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda as is.
And a second?
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Fasano and a second by trustee Ford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is approved. All right, number 6, we have 2 items on the consent agenda. Those 2 items are the February 18th, 2025 regular board meeting minutes and the February 2025 financials. Would someone like to make a motion to approve or pull something from the consent agenda?
I motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
And a second?
Second.
So a motion by trustee Larson and a second by trustee Hubbard. Any discussion? Then Marianne, would you call the roll?
Sure. Kulana?
Aye.
Deachman?
Aye.
Ford?
Aye.
Hubbard? Aye. Larson?
Aye.
Russo?
Aye.
Rosano? Aye.
All right. Number 7, earlier than usual, the president's report. So I do have a couple things. The first, I want to mention that April 6th through 12th is National Library Week. National Library Week has been celebrated for 67 years, and it celebrates the people who use libraries and the people who make them work well and all the things that libraries provide to the community. For us, Library Week is also a special week because on Monday, April 7th, applications or nominations for the Library Leader Award are due. And a leader will be selected and the award will be presented in September during Library Card Month. So that's something to look forward to. And then I also want to mention, just a little bit early, that Tuesday, April 8th of Library Week is Library Workers' Day, and that's a day for us to appreciate everyone who makes it all happen. So thank all of you for that. Then, one other item that I have is the election is coming up, and we will be losing or having changes in the board. So I want to start working on the director's evaluation just a little bit early this year. And last year we used a process that was proposed by Dieters and Todd. We amended their process a little bit. They really talked in the PowerPoint that I sent you, and I can resend it if any of you would like it, about needing consistency in the process and the criteria. So for us, this would be the second year using the same process and criteria, and I would recommend that we do that. And just as a reminder of the steps, it's really about a 6-week process or a little bit longer. The director will do a self-evaluation. The trustees will do an assessment. We'll tabulate and share the results of the trustees' assessment. I'll write a draft evaluation, and then we'll have a closed session discussion of it. So unless anyone objects, I am planning to just use that same process that we used last year. And Joe and I are going to meet next week to kick it off. So I just wanted to let you know that that's coming, and there'll be some emails about that. Okay. So, does anyone else on the board have anything they'd like to share?
The Friends of the Library, we met and they, for the month January to February, they found that they had some adjustment errors that were in the positives. So they actually found $3,539, but then also their book sales and their dues, corner book sales, they added $5,352 at the end of in the February. Plus, they had their book sales, or Saturday book sales, was $722, and then the Wednesday book sale was $276. So that came to around $1,000. So their balance now is $41,000.
Can we raid the piggy bank?
Oh, I know. They're just ready to spend it, and so I think we can do something really nice with it.
That's great.
I see ideas floating in people's heads back there.
Thank you, Christy. Anyone else have anything to share? Then we will move on to number 8, directors and librarians reports.
So I have quite a few strategic plan updates or progress that's listed on page 2 and 3 of the packet. I will be doing this at every regular board meeting where I'll outline the different goals or I'll state the different goals and what we did to address those goals for the month. So for engaging our community, developing and encouraging more partnerships, YS joined a Birth 5 partnership through the state, Illinois Department of Health and Human Services. And it's about connecting families with early childhood services and resources. Teen librarian Mallory Manning visited Batavia High School and interacted with 33 students. And Chip in Batavia prom dress giveaway is ongoing and fast approaching.
So much fun.
And I donated a dress this year, which no one is going to want. Okay, so then for prioritize innovative, inclusive, and responsive programs and services, instead of doing the winter science fair, YS is going to hold an animal meet and greet in February. And they changed the format of the event from a drop-in to a ticketed program with 2 different entry times. This is so they can accommodate more patrons and have room to interact with the animals and not be too stuffed in the room. Every teen program in February was interactive, and that's a list. We've got Inclusion Game Night, Nintendo Switch, Homeschool Hangout, Teen Advisory Board, International Snack Exchange, and Dungeons and Dragons. And then expanding our communications, YS now distributes their monthly program calendar to Kitty Academy each time they visit, so working families are also aware of what we offer here at the library. And then for the second initiative, provide excellent user experiences, we have optimized function and comfort of library space. YS added more seating for caregivers down in the early childhood area. And they added a small wooden puzzle table. We used to have a big kind of cumbersome large table. But now we have a child-sized wooden table with chairs so that kids can do puzzles and color, and it's a little activity table down there. And it also just opens up the space, and it's easier to browse the materials that are nearby. We also had our Wi-Fi upgrade. Well, we are in the process of having our Wi-Fi upgrade. We anticipate it'll be completed sometime in April.
Okay.
And then the third initiative, nurture a positive and collaborative culture, promote collaboration, positive team dynamics. YS meets frequently as a department to collaborate on programming and brainstorm on how they can best serve their patrons. They met in February to discuss our big S-Drive project, which is reorganizing and migrating it so to speak. So they're working on all of the steps that are necessary for that. I think all the departments are starting to do that as well. And we're hoping to do this at the end of this month. I just realized it's the 18th, so I better get busy. But we have started our S-Drive cleanup project so that we can improve access for staff to the information that we have stored on the S-Drive. And that'll be completed, the whole project we hope to have completed by the end of April. And then invest in staff development. Mary Podrasky attended the Illinois Youth Services Institute conference in February in Peoria, and 2 storytime workshops at Gale Borden Public Library. Melissa Cattarelli Cunningham attended a early literacy workshop with Jim Gill, the musician. Youth librarian Amanda Vanderwerf attended the Rails Preschool Programming Outreach Committee meeting. She has just joined that committee, I believe. So she'll be attending those meetings regularly. I didn't make it in here because it happened after we sent this out, but I attended a director's retreat and in Rockford for two days, basically. And we talked about budgeting and levy, and we had a tour of the Rockford Public Library, and they also had some IT and insurance people present information to us. I don't know how many directors were there. It was a little smaller than it has been in the past. Maybe 25 directors were there, and they come from all over the state. The furthest one away was Springfield, and the closest was Sycamore. But in the month of February, staff completed about 202 hours of staff development training across the whole staff. In February, we had one donation for $50 from the Catherine Renee Tatey family in memory of Esther Floodstrom. And as always, we sent a letter of appreciation to the family. Let's see. Doretta Holt is a circulation page who I believe her last day is already passed.
Yes.
She's already left, yes. And then Karina Galvez was a new YS associate that we had, but it was just, she had stuff in her life and scheduling things, et cetera, so she decided that she needed to leave her employment here. And has she had her last day yet?
No, it's next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. So we will be looking for a new circulation page and a new library associate, part-time in YS. And for anniversaries, Sherry, who is, her mother-in-law passed away, so she's out on bereavement leave. And, but she has had 18 years here at the library. Hans Kaiser in promotional services has 16 years. Allison Wise, our newest full-time librarian in youth, just finished her 1 year. And can I tell them the other stuff?
I'm sure, I guess.
And she's gonna be a mom. She's due in September, and it's very exciting. Diane Oakland in circulation has been here for 12 years. And then at our April 3rd Committee of the Whole Board meeting, you will be reviewing new bylaws that I put together to review and discuss. I'll have our old bylaws in the packet with the new bylaws. They haven't been updated in a long time. And I think it's a good idea to do that before we change guard for the board, have something new in place that you've had a chance to review. And then you will vote to approve them at the regular meeting. We also will have some financial policy. We haven't updated those in years, so that will also be available for you to review at the COW meeting. And those are the two big things that I can think of. Our RFQ for architectural services is going to go out tomorrow. And I'm going to email it directly to some of the architecture firms that I I know other libraries have used and have been happy with. Can't hurt. And that's it. That's all I got for that. And now, for our stats, our circulation is definitely up from this time last year, both in physical items. Oh my gosh, sorry, that's my fault. Physical items, e-resources, et cetera, it's up, in total, it's up 19% from last year. And then our reciprocal borrowing is also up, except for Aurora. For some reason, they've stopped coming to see us. And, excuse me, our interlibrary loan is always really healthy. We have more outgoing than we have incoming. And then for the non-SWAD, so that's anyone out of our consortium or anywhere in Illinois. We have, in the past, we were sending things to other states, but we're gonna stop doing that. And we're only going to send things to people in Illinois, in the state of Illinois. So those numbers are going to drastically change, the outgoing after this month, because we just stopped doing that like the last week. And then, let's see, in our room usage, there's an error on the study room usage, the last thing listed there. It's actually 417 times the study rooms were in use in the month of February. So that percent change is not negative 71% at all. It's, I don't know what it is, but it's much higher. Let's see. Anything else I want to point out? If anybody has a question they want to ask about stats, but they're pretty self-explanatory. We're going to be changing this a little bit, the way it's presented and organized and structured, and I might be adding a few other things in here that I think the board would be interested to know. And I'm hoping to have that all ready to go in April, or for the April board meeting. Danielle and I are going to work on that together. And then for the working budget, we're pretty, we're right where we need to be. We talked about in our, under operating expenses on page 7, the professional services, where we're going to use some of that to cover the new library website. So you can see we still have plenty of money left to do that as of the end of February. We've only spent 21,000 out of 65. And we'll probably, given the timing of everything, it'll probably be paid half in fiscal year 25 and the other half in fiscal year 26 to break it a little bit. And I think that's it. And I always include, I will be including just a refresher, the one-page summary of our strategic plan as a reference point when we go over things that we've done to make progress on that. And then the tasks that we have developed in management team to address our strategic plan, which are also, we did that last month, and I'll just keep doing these for a reference point for you. Any questions about any of that? I feel like I'm forgetting something, but it'll come to me before we're adjourned. And now I will pass it over to...
What about the roof?
Oh, the roof.
The roof.
Is it Charlie?
Yeah, we haven't heard
Charlie's
anything.
been out of town, so we don't have, we contacted him about those questions that came up at the last meeting, and we haven't heard back from him yet because he's been on vacation or out of town or something.
It's like some trade thing that he's at.
Oh,
The roof show.
Yeah.
The
And
roof
we had,
show.
I think, 3 or 4 questions
Yeah.
that we wanted him to address, so we're still waiting to hear back from him.
Okay, so that hasn't gone out to bid yet, okay.
No,
Yeah.
All right.
it will.
Yeah.
Anything else? So now I will hand it over to Megan for Adult and Teen Services.
So we had a really strong programming month in ATS. for February. When you combine all of the adult and teen programs active and passive, we had 952 participants at 28 programs. So that was kind of a nice surprise because sometimes winter people don't want to do things, but this year they did. So we were happy to see that. A lot of the credit to that goes to programs that our adult librarian Kristen Schultz planned. She had the Illinois Tollways and iCash Community Day, which always sounds like it's not going to be that thrilling, but we get huge numbers for it. So 110 people came out to, 83 wanted to get their new iPass sorted, and then 27 came to do the iCash table and get that. The state is really working to get people money that's sitting out that they're entitled to, and they have to just do some basic work with forms, and they help walk people through it to be able to get them refunds that are owed to them. So yeah, we had 110 people. We will have them back because the community really seems to show up every time we have them. We had 113 people come to Books Between Bites. The last few months have been pretty popular, but that one was huge. We had it about the woman who smashed codes, which was about Elizabeth Friedman. So not surprising that that was a popular topic, but we did have to, I think Felix was like hauling in extra chairs that day, yeah, because it was it was more popular than we thought, so that was great. And then we had 65 people come to the Saddle Shoe Sisters performance for the Sundays on Stage, which is ever popular, and they love the musical performances especially. It was our turn to do Rack at the Track this month, so we donated 150 discarded paperbacks to that, which is always a nice collaborative outreach program that we do with St. Charles in Geneva that people seem to appreciate. And we had 68 people attend 3 virtual programs. I feel like we're really trying to crack the code on which ones they want and don't want. This time, all 3 that we featured were popular. It was 2 author speaking engagements and then 1 genealogy program. The genealogy stuff seems to hold true for popular online, so we're going to definitely stick with those. The rest is a little hit or miss, so we're just going to keep experimenting to see what people want. But those all went well in February. And we had 245 people do the 3 passive programs we had out, so we're going to keep building on those, especially as we expand our makerspace materials for everyone. One other program that has been popular through the years is the magazine giveaway day. We had 162 people attend that. Because that is so popular, and we've had people make requests over the year to access magazines much more often than just once a year, we're going to change how we do that so people can have access to our discarded magazines just kind of perpetually as we discard them. And then it means we also don't have to take as much space and as much time once a year for the technical services staff to have to process a huge bulk quantity. So we're going to be adjusting that to be an ongoing system. So hopefully we'll have that figured out for everyone soon. And then, as always, our guided crafting programs are really remaining popular, which is nice to see because that helps us gear our, as we build up our maker zone, it helps us see what types of things people are gravitating towards. And so we're starting to buy some more materials for that. Hearing the money available from the Friends is exciting for that as well. So we look forward to some ideas kind of percolating for that so we can really kind of build that up for our community because people are enjoying access to those things. We also finished 2 kind of big shifts. We shifted the AV material slightly to keep that order that we wanted, but we made room for what is now launched, the Hot Picks collection. Unfortunately, it was a little too popular, so we're trying to get a lot more things for that quickly so it doesn't look so empty. But it is nice to see that everybody was so excited to get all of those materials immediately. So we're working hard with tech services to get a lot more out there for them very soon. But that collection is launched, and there's a really nice space at the front that people have enjoyed a little extra seating and browsing right as you first come into the adult and teen services area. We are grateful to the help of our circulation staff who helped shift a lot of the nonfiction collection so that it is more accessible to both staff and patrons. There were just so many materials that were really big, heavy items tightly jammed in on those top shelves. I was concerned about safety, but I know it was inconvenient for a lot of people. So we're starting to fit the space a lot better. So we are really happy with the progress we've had there. Any questions?
It's nice to hear about how space allotment affects use of the collection. So that was really good. And just for people who may not know, would you just talk a little bit more about what Rack at the Track is?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a collaborative effort through Batavia, Geneva, and St. Charles to take items that are no longer needed in the library collection, so we're getting rid of them anyway, and to put them out at the train station so people who are wanting to you know, find something along the way can kind of stumble into books. And it has, we put a plate in the, you know, in the book that shows that it was donated by the Batavia Public Library, so people will both see that we've made the effort and hopefully be inspired to come visit us to find more things like those items they're enjoying. And we take turns with the other libraries in the area to make sure that the burden doesn't fall on just one group and that we all work together to have this for, you know, our community, because all the towns around here, people really do kind of bounce between them and like to enjoy all the towns equally. So.
Any other questions? Thank you.
All right, February was busy in youth services as well. I feel like I've underrepresented all the stuff that's going on, but I always hate to include stuff that I don't have pretty photos for. So I assure you we had more than just the one program for birth through preschool. But Sensory Playtime continues to be popular, and as I think I've mentioned, there's a method to the madness. It's learning through play. So we're trying to build those early literacy skills. We're trying to build those spatial awareness skills, motor skills, while also having fun. And that's the beauty of it, is the kids are doing all those things and they don't even realize they're learning. So lots of, you know, messy things, space glitter and earth painting and constellations with marshmallows, and then gross motor skills. There's a picture there of a little guy doing the rocket hop. So all of those skills. So a fun time. International Taste Testers is a newer program that Melissa Cunningham has been doing, and in February we had a focus on Italy. So they tried all kinds of different foods from Italy, and then not only were they taste testing things, but they were also doing trivia. They made a craft using some colored pasta noodles, and they also, I think if I remember correctly, kind of voted on things and tallied things, so there was some math skills there as well. And that has proven pretty popular. It's kind of hard sometimes to bring that 5th through 8th grade crowd in, so it's always a win if you have some food. No school. We had a couple of no school days in February. We got out the Nintendo Switch on the 17th, and you can see there we've got a dad and a mom watching with some younger kiddos, and this time we had some requests for having some offerings for the K2 crowd instead of just, bless you, upper elementary, and so we tried that as well, and that proved pretty popular with their younger crowd, and they're always happy to school each other on Mario Kart. And again, method beyond the madness on that one is just working on those social emotional skills, learning to take turns, not blurting things out, all those kinds of things. So speaking of more fun with our upper elementary kids and our middle schoolers, we had a Guess That Flavor program. It was the brainchild of Mary Podrasky, who was at our Illinois Youth Services Institute conference. So Amy pinch hit for her. And I had the opportunity to poke my head in and help set up, and boy, was that an interesting time. We tried a lot of unusual soda varieties. So you can see there we had dirt, grass, bacon, corn, butter, pickle, ranch, black olive, and mustard. And if you have ever had a middle schooler live at your house, or you know a middle schooler, you know that they completely gravitate towards anything that looks like it might be a little edgy. So the middle schoolers loved it. The upper elementary weren't quite so sure, but they braved it anyway. So we had a good time. They had some soda trivia, and again, we always consider it a win when we can get both those age groups into the library and coming to a program. So it was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun picking out the photos for the board packet too, because the looks on their faces really illustrate the program well. As Joe mentioned earlier, Jolene tried an animal meet and greet this year instead of the science fair. Our science fair has been really successful in the past, but it's been so crowded that it's really been hard for people to interact with the exhibits and the folks that
have brought them in. So this time we decided to do a meet and greet, and as Joe mentioned, we had 2 different times as well, and that really worked a lot better to get more room inside the meeting space for people to really get hands-on and up close and personal with the animals. So it was a lot of fun. We had Frog Lady, Incredible Bats, the Randall Oaks Zoo, and Stillman Nature Center. And you can see from the pictures some of the critters that the kids got the opportunity to either touch or get really close to. I have to say some of them were pretty brave. You wouldn't catch me that close to a tarantula, but that's me. But I love that they want to explore and
Animals
learn.
were always popular at the science
Oh,
fair.
absolutely, absolutely. So good time was had by all. And then we have been partnering with Rotolo Middle School on their Battle of the Books. And our school liaison librarian, Amy Marks, served as the MC for that Battle of the Books, which was actually held here in the Founders Room on Monday, February 24th. And you can see some pictures there. We had some very enthusiastic 6th grade teams, and then of course, the older they get, perhaps the less enthusiastic they get, but we still did have a 7th grade team and a couple of 8th grade teams, and as you can see, they were very creative with their team names. And what I also loved is we had one homeschool student that was enthusiastic about participating and was invited to join with the team, so that was fantastic. And even better, they partnered with the high school, and they had 7 students from the high school that acted as judges for this event, so it was really a nice collaborative effort. And we're really proud to be doing a lot more partnering with Rotolo Middle School. The librarian there has really been great about working with us. And we provided extra copies of the books in addition to emceeing the battle. And then last but not least, we've gone to the Batavia Special Needs Parent Network Resource Fair every year, and Adult and Teen Services and Youth Services take turns attending. This year it was Youth Services' turn, and Jolene went. And as noted here, she spoke with about 22 attendees. So again, that's a great opportunity to get out and talk with families about what the library has to offer them, talk about things like Inclusion Game Night and some of the other programs that we have to offer here at the library. Let's see, what else? Oh, passive programs. We had a really fun, not that we don't have a fun program every month, but a really fun passive program in February called Fabulous Females, and this was the brainchild of Mary Stasko, and it was really wonderful. It was all about women inventors, and she did a really lovely job of coming up with things that kids could really relate to, like the Snuggly baby carrier and windshield wipers and things of that nature. And there's a picture in your board packet of the Lift the Flap that was right outside my office, which just happened to be the inventor of the Snuggly baby carrier. So I got to hear lots of fun interaction as kids were lifting the flap, and what was really fun about this activity is I thought it would just appeal to school-age kids, but boy, those under 5s really got into it. And what was also fun at the end was once they had gone all the way around and interacted with all of the varying flaps, they got to vote for their favorite inventor/invention. So it was really a hands-on activity. And then last but not least, we have dramatic play, which was Baby Nursery, and that was Melissa Cunningham's brainchild this month, and it was very cute. The kids had so much fun, like feeding the baby dolls and burping them and putting them to bed. We had some very cute cute times when we went to close the library at the end of the day and saw all the babies were tucked in and everything was tidy. I'm sure their parents would hope that they, did the same at home. Questions about youth services?
Where is Stillman Nature Center?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I'm trying to remember. Is it a
It's Barrington.
It's Barrington. It's all the way in Barrington. Thank you, Don.
It's not near Stillman Valley.
Yeah, no, I knew it wasn't that far. And a couple, while I'm standing here, I want to take the opportunity to invite all of you and mark your calendars for some upcoming events. Friday, March 28th is our One Book, One Batavia kickoff. And this is the first year that we're going to be offering a youth and a teen book in addition to the adult book. So we hope that you will come. That's going to be in the evening just after we close. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to have some refreshments. We'll have copies of the books. We'll have some games and some World War II era music playing. So I'd love to see some board members there. And then even further in advance, Saturday, May 31st is going to be our kickoff for the Summer Reading Club, and we are making that an all ages thing, and that'll be from 11 to 1. And there is going to be a fabulous young man who does a great Elvis impersonation. So I hope you will come, and he does Elvis from the 50s on, and it's about an hour and a half show. We're also going to have a face painter and a juggler, and there'll be dilly bars and lemonade from Raising Cane's. It's going to be a good time, so come on out. All right.
I just want to comment, you know, one of our strategic goals is engaging the community, and that Battle of the Books, which has been a thing in the schools, and I know everybody's been supporting each other, but to have the middle school and the librarian here providing space and being the MC, and having those high school kids be role models for the middle school kids that reading really is cool, is I think just the, you know, the best of our programs. And I also want to compliment both of the librarians about how much credit you give to all the other librarians and circulation staff and facility staff who help make all the programs work so well.
Absolutely, we couldn't do it without each other. We're a team. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. This is a short one, but long ones are coming up. So our upcoming meetings, our committee of the whole on April 3rd, and the regular board meeting on April 15th. With that, we've reached the end of our agenda, so I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by trustee Russo and second by trustee Hubbard. We don't have to discuss that. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.